Well, it seems as if Matt has come out to comment on his relationship with Jasmine. Because obviously, as we know from the last season of Happily Ever After, Matt made it clear that he definitely wanted to marry Jasmine in the future. But Jasmine couldn't give him that confirmation. She pretty much flat out rejected him. Not only did she reject him, but at the same time, she even still declared her love for Gino, which of course wasn't something that was going to be right. But also on top of that, Matt then also came out to accuse Jasmine for infidelity because he questioned if Matilda was truly his baby. Why? Well, because Dane, everyone remember Dane, the same man that Jasmine lived with, not with, but lived in the same complex as him back in Panama when Gino used to pay her $3K a month to be able to actually stay in that complex. Yeah, that Dane himself, in fact, the same Dane that gave her money for her butt implants. That guy. Well, it turned out that he had actually moved to New York for a little bit, and Jasmine used to go to New York, and well, Matt put the things together. He says, I wouldn't be surprised if Jasmine was going to New York to actually spend time with Dame. Which, to be fair, was quite interesting because that means Jasmine would have done these things. These events of her going to New York would have been around the same time after Gina kicked her out and she was staying with Matt. But here's the thing though, one of the reasons why her and Gina didn't work was because Gina would not take Jasmine to the gym. So therefore, she had to be accompanied and picked up by who? By Matt. So I do wonder, to be fair, how she even managed to get from Michigan all the way to New York, or from Florida all the way to New York. And when I say that, what I mean is it possible that Dane would actually pay for her travel to actually get to New York the same way he paid for her butt implants? I mean, listen, of course, this part itself in particular would never be explained because I guess we only got a little bit of it from the confrontation that we did see, or shall I say from the outburst that we got from Matt at the time. But nonetheless though, TMZ were able to catch up with Matt, and Matt has now responded with something very, very interesting. So as you can see here in front of your eyes, ladies and gentlemen, Matt doubles down on wedding doubts. I only proposed because of our baby. Now, of course, this is something that we are definitely familiar with because at the same time, at the time, he did say when he was questioned, I believe he was questioned by Jovi or maybe even Yara, would you, or is it Lauren? It doesn't matter, to be fair. Would you still be with Jasmine, or would you still want to marry her if the baby did not exist? And he did say that, well, I probably wouldn't have proposed to her right now. I definitely wouldn't be thinking about marriage right now. What I would have done is I would have taken my time to get to know her before making that choice. And of course, to be fair, just because they have a child, it doesn't mean that you now have to rush the process. The amount of people in this world that actually get together because of a child and not because they know each other is actually quite criminal. Now, of course, for some people, it does not work in any shape or form. But for some people, sometimes they can get lucky and it can't work. I mean, listen, if you're looking at Kobe and Emily, those are two people that literally were together purely because they got pregnant. And obviously, as we now know, they are now a happily married couple with, I believe, baby number 4 on the way. But then on the other side, we can look at Jovi and Yara. Jovi and Yara, pretty much at the same time, only stayed together because of Myla. And Jovi has said multiple times that if Myla didn't exist, he doesn't believe that he would actually still be with Yara till this day. So those are the two comparisons there. Either way though, folks, don't marry someone because of a child. Take your time to get to know them, to make sure that when the child comes, the child is being raised and being born in a healthy environment. If two people marry because of a child but they're not happy together, that means you are creating a unhappy environment for the child, which therefore would be a broken home. Do you see what I'm saying? A broken home doesn't mean two people that are not together. Broken home is when you display literally two people that are together and have a horrible relationship, or two people that break up and have a horrible relationship. But if you're with that person, you have a good relationship, then yeah, that is a lovely home. If you split up, but yet you got a great relationship and it comes to good parenting, that is still a great home. But with that being said, let's see exactly what Matt had to say in this video here provided to us by TMZ.
I said that at the tell, right? That if it wasn't for Matilda, I probably would not be trying to marry her right now, because I still think like it's pretty early and we still have like a lot of things I feel like to work on. I do think once you have a child with somebody and you guys are like living together, like there is a point where, when are we gonna get married? Like, are we gonna move forward? I don't understand what's going on. Um, Without Matilda, yeah, I would not be pressing it right now because I just don't think we're really ready. Um, yeah, I think we need some. We still need some things to work on. Um, yeah. So a little less arguing and stuff would be nice. I'm sure people are not very happy with me. Like Jasmine is not happy that she gave me like the side eye all the time. And I'm like, I don't know what you want me to say to you because we aren't there yet, you know?
It's quite interesting. He talks about the fact that maybe they need to work a little bit on, maybe the arguing. Listen, this man he fully called her a demon. On the last episode of Happily Ever After Terrell, he literally said that end of the day, am I about to, he literally spoke about the fact that if the baby is not his, that means that clearly he's going to be able to dodge a bullet. Do you see what I'm saying? He also pretty much said that if the baby is his, then that means he's got to spend the rest of his life with a freaking demon. So I don't know why he's downplaying it. You know what I mean? Like, bro, don't downplay it. Say it as it is. But of course, this is a man that seems to be afraid to say what he really wants to say, because he's afraid that the fact that if he says what he really wants to say, that maybe him and Jasmine's relationship will go downhill. Now, why would he be afraid of the relationship with him and Jasmine going downhill if he says what he really wants to say? Well, this is my guess, okay? And hopefully you guys have your own guesses as well, or you may even agree with my one. At the most recent season itself in particular, there was even a moment, I believe it was part 3 of the tell-all, Jasmine did low-key threaten Matt. She did say to him that, if you are not willing to wait for me to be ready to want to be with you and to marry you, well, then I can move out now with Matilda. And of course, when she said that, a lot of people took it however they decided to take it, because of course, when someone says something, it's all a matter of perception of how we want to receive it. And some people received it as a way of her threatening and trying to manipulate him by trying to say that if you don't want to be with me, well then me and Matilda will leave and you'll never see both of us again. Purely because when she said what she said, she worded it in a way of, well, me and Matilda will leave. It wasn't a case of where she worded it in a way where she's like, well, if you're not willing to wait for me, well then maybe we should now start to make arrangements for me to move out, and then also we can organize how we're going to co-parent. You see what I'm saying? She didn't say anything necessarily that linked or hinted to that. It was more of a case of me and Matilda will go. And of course, because of who Jasmine is, being a very reactive person, being a very loud person, everybody knows that when she says things, she will always deliver them in ways that do feel more like a threat rather than an actual genuine thing to say, if you know what I'm saying. So there was also that part too, because we witnessed her and Jasmine time and time again. Whenever they'd have a dispute, everything that was said on both Gina or Jasmine's side was always said in a way of a threat rather than in a way of how can we solve this, or how can we be cordial. Do you see what I'm saying? So therefore, with Jasmine's style of delivery, this is obviously what brought concerns. Now, with that being said, we're going to go into some of the things that were also said in this article itself in particular. Now, of course, it does say here that Matt was in the hot water during the show tell-all when Jasmine accused him of only proposing because they have a child together. Speaking to TMZ, Matt seems to be doubling down on the revelation, which of course is something that we saw right here. Now, of course, it does say Matt and Jasmine welcomed their daughter Matilda in March this year and have been living together while Jasmine finalized a divorce from estranged husband Gino. Okay. Now, of course, remember, key thing, obviously, they've been living together, and they live together, 1, because Jasmine was kicked out, but then 2, because they now have a kid together. Obviously, Jasmine is obviously not going anywhere. And I believe now these two have moved from Michigan all the way to Florida, and they have recently purchased a home together as well. A very nice big house as well, if you dig what I'm saying. Now, of course, here it just continues to repeat some of the things that obviously Matt has said, of course, in the video itself in particular. But with that being said, I would like to know everybody's thoughts and opinions on the matter. With that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.